This video today is brought to you by ElectQ. They're a brand new company that's come onto the scene here. And they sent me this unit, which is their home unit.
It's time to fire it up. All right, here we go. Let's put it in. There we go. There, nice.
Today, what I want to do is I want to bring it down a notch and talk about EV charging basics and why I think level 2 charging is something that we probably need to spend more time on talking about here on the Out of Spec channels, specifically on my channel as well. I spend a lot of time, going over to DC fast chargers and sometimes getting super frustrated and long lines and all that. But the reality is most people are charging their electric cars at home, and they'll either do it on a level 1, a level 2, or if they have to take a road trip, or if they don't have the ability to charge at home, then they can head over to some of the public infrastructure that's out there. So what I thought I would do today, with the kind help of the good folks over at ElectQ, who sent me their latest unit, it's a level 2 charger, it's their home unit. I want to show you what it's like to charge a car, get a unit, install it in your house, a level 2 charger, and how to charge your car. But I'm using this as an example today as to what I think you all should be doing if you have a place to install a level 2 charger at your home. Many people do, and they don't, because they get free charging perhaps from the company that they bought their car from, and then they end up clogging up the DC or the superchargers or the DC fast chargers that are on the road, which cause a lot of problems for people that are really trying to go on a long road trip. So let's focus on level 2 charging today. Let's use this brand new ElectQ. We're welcoming them to the US. They just launched last year. They just put their product on Amazon in December of 2024. And I've got the brand new unit that you can plug into a NEMA 1450. So let's talk about how do you charge a car at home. So let's start with level 1. Level 1 charging is something where you're plugging in a EV, what they call SE, electric vehicle supply equipment, basically a little charging block that plugs into a 120 volt home outlet. And most of the cars today come with these when you buy them new, most of the EVs. If they don't, you can go online and you can buy a level 1 charger. And then at the end of it, you're either going to have a J1772 or you're going to have a Tesla NACS adapter that you can plug in to your car. And so, you get about 3 to 5 miles of range every hour when you plug it into a regular wall socket. Not great. But the thing is, a lot of people can get away with this because maybe they've got a short commute and maybe they can plug in every night and charge their car up to 80% or 70% and bring it down to maybe 60%. And then overnight, it'll go right back up to 80%. So, many people do that and they don't really need a level 2 charger. Now, when you step up the food chain and you go to a level 2 charger, there are, these are typically using anywhere from 208 to 240 volt outlets, similar to a dryer or an oven, electric oven circuit. And you'll end up adding anywhere from maybe 15 or 20 up to perhaps even 35 or 40 miles every hour. Now we're talking. You come home from work at 7 o'clock and you have to charge your car up 130 miles because you made some extra stops, and that thing's going to charge at, let's call it even 25 miles every hour. It's going to be great. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have your battery charged up to whatever level you choose to set it to, whether it's 100%, which we don't recommend, but or let's say 80%. Which is what a lot of manufacturers recommend their vehicles to do. Oftentimes, you'll see these chargers, these level 2 chargers, out in the public. I know here in New Canaan, they've got one right in downtown that's always blocked. We call it getting iced. And, they're around, right? You can figure them out. Some of them are free. if they're offered by towns or government buildings or what have you. Sometimes you have to actually pay to use these charge point locations or other level 2 charging locations. Even Tesla's got a bunch of level 2 chargers. I know down in Florida at one of the malls near our house in Fort Myers, there's a place there. The big boy charging is the DC fast chargers, otherwise known by Tesla people as superchargers or DC fast chargers in other networks. And these are using dedicated, very, very serious, charging equipment that usually is 480 volts or higher. In fact, the latest version 4 chargers from Tesla are 1,000 volts. And so they're starting to put out a lot of energy, which is really good. And these can add up anywhere from 100 to 300, maybe even more miles in about 30 minutes. And so, I know that when I had my Ioniq 5 at a DC fast charger, an Electrify America, that 10 to 80% state of charge was 18 minutes. Kyle was just over in China, and he was charging up a Zeekr that was like the same amount of energy in about 8 minutes, because they're just pouring out the energy over there. So if we bookend charging from level 1 being the slowest and DC fast charging being the fastest, today we're going to focus on that sweet spot. Level 2 charging. What I'm going to do is take you through this ElectQ unit that I was sent. And I'm going to be installing that today in my garage, and I'm going to tell you how it works. So let's get into it. All right, so this video today is brought to you by ElectQ. They, like I mentioned before, they're a brand new company that's come onto the scene here, and they sent me this unit, which is their home unit. I love their mission statement. Our mission is mission to zero emission, and that's pretty cool. So this unit is designed to work outside as well as inside, and it's also engineered for safe charging, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's certified for operations here in the States, and they also have 24/7 support and 3-year coverage, which is great. Now, the unit that I'm going to be installing today it has a little dongle coming out the bottom of it. I love that word, dongle, that you can plug into a NEMA 1450 vent or outlet, which is what a lot of times dryers have, like electric dryers have. And because of that, it's only rated at 40 amps. And so the unit that I have is actually not on the market yet today. The unit that I'm going to be showing you the documentation on today it's a 50 amp. It's a wired unit, but I requested specifically the one that you can plug into a NEMA 1450. And because of that, you'll see that it only will charge up to 9.6 kilowatts because it's limited to 40 amps. So the unit has algorithms inside of it that understands the circuit and understands the power usage, and it's got a CPU and an MCU, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So it's very smart. It's using a lot of technology here to understand that. So the speeds that you're able to get, if you wanted to buy the wired unit today and have it wired into your garage by an electrician, you could do that. And I say an electrician because I wouldn't hook up a wired unit myself unless it was a certified, electrician. What I did was I had a certified electrician come in and install my NEMA 1450 power outlet with proper piping and all of the safety that goes into having an electrician do that. So I can just buy a unit, or I can have a unit like this shipped to me and just plug it in. So 9.6 kilowatts, 40 amps, that's the max that I'm going to have. But the thing is, what's nice about this unit is it really allows you to save electricity because it understands through this very powerful app. Now, there's no interface on the front of this unit that shows any kind of digital display. It's designed to work with this app that I'll show you in a minute here. It's got some colors on it, so you know if it's blue, if it's green. Once it's green, then you know it's finished charging. If it's blue, then you know that it's actually sending the energy. Its operating temperatures are anywhere from minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which hopefully it's not that cold out today here in Connecticut, all the way up to 122 degrees. So you can install one of these things out in, outside of your house. Now, look, this is a very crowded market here. There are so many different electric vehicle supply equipment, EVSE units on the market here. The one again today, the hardwired version, is a 50 amp unit. It has a 25-foot cable, charging cable. It supports Wi-Fi. Now, sometimes if you install these units in your garage, the Wi-Fi that is built into some of these home units that you might buy on Amazon, they don't really have the kind of range to be able to sniff out your Wi-Fi connection. And so this has Wi-Fi 6, which is really good. Signal range is 328 feet, but keep in mind, your house is not that big, but it's got to go through walls. So if your router is somewhere upstairs, the odds of you being able to connect up your unit to your Wi-Fi to this unit is very high. It's got Bluetooth, which is great. And it's got a wireless connection for load management. Now, this is interesting. This company is evolving with their product offerings. It's always good to welcome new participants. And they've got some new technology here where they're going to have a control unit that you can install in your house, and you can connect it up to your solar panels. And you have to learn more about as when they announce the product announcement for this, but this smart home energy management ready, they're thinking holistically here, which is what I like. This unit will talk to you as well. So when you're charging, it'll tell you that it's charging. And when it's stopped charging, it'll tell you that it's stopped charging. You can turn that off if you want, but it's got voice prompts. And one of the things also is that if you do install this unit outside, you don't want to just have someone pull up to your garage or your house and start, taking your energy. So it comes with an RFID card, so you can activate the unit in multiple ways. Plug and charge, you can just set it so anybody can pull up and plug it in, which is nice if you have a restaurant or, they do have a number of different units. The one that I'm reviewing today is a home unit. They have a unit for the businesses, or it's more of a commercial unit, AC unit. And then they actually make DC, the big boy chargers as well. Or if you have someone that you want to just give the RFID card to and have some security, that only those that have that little RFID card can charge, then they'll do that. It also uses Alexa and Siri, so you could say start charging it or stop charging it, which is good. A lot of the installation for this unit, it's super fast. This is kind of cool because it's a modular design. I opened the box and I looked at it, but I'm going to do the unpacking here soon. But basically what you've got is, you got a wall mount, you plug it, you screw it into the wall, and then there's a module and then a cover. And so it's kind of like a peel the onion thing where it's really easy to install. And it's also the cable management wraps around the whole unit, and then you can plug the J1772 right into the unit itself. So you don't have to have a separate device that's plugged into the wall like a lot of the EVSE units that you'll see on Amazon do require. Monitoring your charging, it's all done on the app, okay, which is great. Now, if you have a Tesla, you can monitor on the Tesla app to see how much charging you're doing, but not everyone has an app for their EV as good as the Tesla. And some of the functionality that's in this app here will do a lot more, like the monitoring of the pricing of your local electric utilities, so you can actually be smart about it using the algorithm. And it learns. That's what's cool about this unit. It learns when the cost savings can take place, so that you can really reduce your electric bill, which is good. You can share the app with up to, I believe it's 10 family members, and everyone can manage charging or control sessions and enjoy the smart charging experience together, which is pretty good. I mentioned the CPU and MCU chips. Why do you need to know that? A lot of these units are just kind of dumb, right? They don't have intelligence built into them as to the amount of energy and taking all of the data and allowing you to monitor and see it on the app. And I really like that functionality that you're able to go onto the app and see exactly what kind of energy consumption you're using. And so, a lot of the traditional single chip EV chargers that are on the market don't provide this extra value of having the app with all the data embedded into it. And the key is having the proper power inside the unit itself from compute Lots of sensors in here, which are providing real-time monitoring of contact points, and it'll dynamically adjust the charging speeds, which is really good, based on heat, and then it'll cut it off. So if it starts overheating, it's going to actually limit the amount of power that it will use. So again, I think that the intelligence that they've built into this unit is commendable. Effortless charging. Again, I mentioned auto start, plug and charge, RFID. You can use Siri and Alexa to control the unit, and then also a Bluetooth phone key, which is great. And then it also connects up, like I mentioned, to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you're connected to your unit at all times. Voice prompt, we talked about the dynamic LED light strip instead of having a fancy control display on the unit itself, which can sometimes go bad. It's got simple colors, and then you'll know what the colors are. But again, look at the app. And then the box just kind of, its packaging is made from 100% recycled. Really nice packaging and all of that. So now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go down and I'm going to install this thing. I'm going to show you how easy it is to install it. And you'll see that over here you've got the base plate, which is just something you need to put onto the wall. This is showing, again, the wired unit that's available today on Amazon. In March, you're going to be able to buy the one that I've got, which is the NEMA 1450 unit that you can plug into the outlet. So it's even easier for me. So, but if you've got an electrician that comes and runs the wires right up to the spot where you're going to mount this, I don't think it's all that hard to do it. I personally can't recommend doing this on your own. As an individual, what I would say is it's going to be super easy for your electrician to install this, which is going to cut down in the cost. So, it's something that's really easy to install. And then you can see once it's actually you got the wires hooked up to it in the wired version, then you plug in the module and then the cover, and then you can go ahead and set it up using your iPhone. So let me go down to the garage. Let me install this unit, and I'm going to unpack it. Super easy from what I can tell. Plug it in, and then we're going to start charging. So I'll show you how quickly and easily this can be accomplished.
All right, so let's go ahead and see what's inside this box right here. This is, again, the ElectQ Home H1, and this is the NEMA 1450 version. So now when you open it up, you come on over here and check this thing out. It's all recycled packaging, which is very nice. I've got a little package right here with a electric amperage labeled. Now, since this is the 1450 version, it's a 40 amp version, so I'll be sticking those labels on there. We've got the RFID cards here. There's two of them right there, which is great. So if you install the unit outside, then in order to actually activate the charger, you got to have one of the cards. So there's a little wrench here and some hardware to install it. Well, let's go ahead and take this unit out. All right. And take it out of the box here. There we go. Then at one end, we've got this is the 4-prong NEMA 1450. That'll plug into the wall. The handle looks really good, but you can see this is the J1772 adapter. And if you want to have Tesla connector to it, then you just click it on like that, and then you got NACS. So anyway, I think the first car we're going to charge is the Porsche Macan. So it's just going to be pure J1772 to J1772. Now that I've got these two little plastic pieces off of there, now what I want to do is just take this little wall mount right off the back of the unit there, and let's see where I want to put it. Okay, so I pre-drilled the holes 1, 2, 3 for the mount for the unit, and this is the NEMA 1450 plug that I had my electrician professionally install a while back. So I'm just going to put these anchors right here in the walls. One, and I've already got one in there. All right, so all three are in there now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the mounting plate here, and I'm just going to install. There we go. Now it's up there. Okay. All right, so now that I have the mounting bracket on, I'm just going to put this unit on there. This is really simple. And I'm not going to plug it in yet, but I'm going to let this thing come over here. And I'm going to see how it goes. I think that's it. There's two little pins that I'm going to put up. Okay, so I've got the unit mounted. There's just two screws that go in on either side, very simple. And now I'm just going to lay this cord over the unit itself. And it's not, let me just see. And I guess you can put that like that if you want. Chances are, just because it's a little narrow passage here, I'll probably just lay it like that. So anyway, it's time to fire it up. All right, here we go. Let's put it in. There we go. There, nice. Okay, so perfect. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to connect my app to this unit and get it all set up the way that I want it. Let's do that next. All right, so now that I've got power into this unit, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a charger to my phone app, which I've already downloaded. So add a charger, and I'm going to scan for Bluetooth. There it is. I already found it. And I'm going to add it, and we're going to view the charger. Okay. All right, so I've got the network connected up here on Wi-Fi, and signal is excellent. So we've got very good connectivity right here. And let's see, the speed, it says 30 amp. Okay, that's the max that it'll allow. Access for all, settings. Now, let's see, I think it's ready to go. So what I think I want to do is, I think I want to open up the garage door and plug it into the Porsche Macan. So let's give that a shot, okay? All right, so now it's time. I will tell you this cable feels very, very thin to me. I don't know, it just feels thinner than others I've used. Most of the others I've used have been a little bit thicker. This feels thin, but let's go ahead and plug this in and see what happens. Let's go ahead and see over inside. Oh, I heard it connect. And now it's charging. That's great. Okay, so we are charging at 7 kilowatts, which is interesting. Now, for some reason, the unit is detecting that it only wants to put out 30 amps, even though it's capable of 40. And as you remember in the video in the earlier part of the video, I was mentioning that the unit has intelligence, CPU and MCU, to determine what is the maximum amount that it will output. So it's possible that for whatever reason, it may ramp up here if the battery gets a little warmer. It's super cold out right now. Well, that's actually not that cold. It's 39 degrees out. But yeah, it's only 7 kilowatts. This car will take 9.3 kilowatts. Even though the Porsche Macan advertises 11, it won't take 11 from what I can gather. So I've seen 9.3 on other level 2s, but this for some reason is only charging at 7 kilowatts. Now, to put that into perspective, it's fine because you can see we're currently at a 33% state of charge. And at 11:56, and it's 4:45 right now, we would reach an 85% state of charge. Let's pop that down to 80 right there. And target charge will be reached at a little bit earlier than that. Knowing that this unit can put out 40 amps, I was really concerned why it was only showing 30 amp max. So I went back to the app the next day, and sure enough, I could see that the speed was now saying 40 amps, and you could select it, whichever you want. And I plugged it into my Tesla, and sure enough, there I was pulling 9.8 kilowatts. So, you can go from 40 amps all the way down to 6 amps, I believe. And
Yeah, so I'm not really sure why it did this. It's possible that maybe it was just when I first initially plugged it in, the unit sensed that, hey, I can only deliver 30 amps to you. But guess what? It's 40 amps.
All right, so there's a couple of different ways that you can turn the energy on using this unit. One of them is just plug and charge. I've got that turned off now. And the other way is using one of these RFID cards right here, which I'm going to try out right now. So let's first plug it in to the Macan. All right, here we go. And hopefully it will not start charging because I've got plug and charge off in the software app for the ElectQ. And now the Macan just locked, no big deal there. And we've got a green light on the unit and it's not charging. It would be blue, like a darker shade of blue and flashing. But let's put this card right up next to it. There we go. We heard a green or heard a sound. There, now it clicked and now we're charging. So that's great. So what's really nice about the RFID card is if you install this unit, which is all weather outside, and someone pulls up, and if they don't have access or access to one of your RFID cards, they're not going to be able to plug in. So if you're in a secure area, easily you can just plug it in. You don't need to have the card on you. Where I live here, I'm not going to be using the RFID card. If I were in a different location, I would. The other way you can do it is Bluetooth on the phone. You can also use the app to start the charging, or like I said before, just plug and charge. So that's really, it's really a great unit. The data, it's going to be fun to accumulate the data in the app over time to be able to monitor how much energy that I'm using and how much I'm consuming. This has been a really good exercise, simple to put in. I like the unit. I like the app. I like the RFID. ElectQ, thank you so much for sending me this unit. And more importantly, everyone out there who has a place that they can charge their car at home or at the office, consider buying one of these units. I think that they're really well packaged, super easy to install. So anyway, check it out, at least consider. I'll put the links below for how to buy this unit. And then keep in mind, in March, the NEMA 1450 version is going to be out. Just right now, you only have the wired version that's out. So you're definitely going to need an electrician for that. But unless you've already got one hardwired and you want to upgrade your unit. So keep in mind also that the wired unit is a 50 amp unit. So you'll get a lot faster charging speeds. Maybe you'll have 11 kilowatts if your car will allow it. So anyway, thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.